Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's so very nice to see you again. Today I'm gonna have to start the video from inside of my car because of some really heavy rainfall going on. And it's a much needed rain. We have such a dry summer here in Sweden. So it's not much needed, very nice. And I'm really excited about today's video because I'm gonna do a comparison between two camera systems. This is the Nikon D90 and this is the Nikon Z7. And the Z7 is my current main landscape photography camera, and I'm really happy with this one. It's the best camera I've ever had. But I wanted to do a comparisons to sort of the first serious camera system that I picked up back in 2009. And this is actually the very same copy that I purchased. I'm only borrowing this camera from my sister because I gave this camera to her when I upgraded from this to a D800E. So yeah, just some quick facts about this camera. It's a crop sensor, 12 megapixel crop sensor, DX crop sensor. And this is the only lens I have, the 18 to 105 millimeter zoom lens. And that's roughly 28 to 158 full frame equivalent. So it's got a really nice zoom range. And I haven't done any behind the scenes or off camera testing, so this is all new to me. I'm not even sure if this camera take raw files, so let me have a quick look. Menu, picture quality. Yeah, it does do raw files, so I'm gonna do comparison between the two cameras' raw files. And what am I comparing it to? Well, my main current camera, Z7, it's a full frame camera, of course, and it's a 45 megapixel. And since the zoom range is so big on the lens on the D90, I'm gonna have to use two lenses for the comparisons, the 24 to 70 and the 70 to 200 lens. But I couldn't pick a worse day to do this because this old D90 isn't weather sealed, so I'm gonna have to wait until the rain stops. So when the rain stops, I'm gonna see you out there. Oh, I made it to the top of Gärdsöklack. It's roughly 400 meters high. It was a really steep climb up here. I got rewarded as soon as I got here. We got this really nice mist covering the top of this mountain. So that's what I'm gonna start focusing on, taking pictures of this really beautiful landscape up here. And where I'm standing right now is a viewpoint, but the view is completely obscured by the mist and fog. So maybe I can return to this spot later on. But for now, let's focus on this beautiful landscape up on the top here with all the mist. Alright, so I found a decent composition to start things off. And I'm going to start with the Z7. And I'm at roughly 35 millimeters. And I'm focusing on this closest pine tree. Half a second f8 ISO 64. 2 second self timer. There we go, the first shot. Let me quickly change to the D90. And every time I turn this camera off, the self timer resets. So I'm gonna first turn it into a self timer. put it on the tripod and try to frame it exactly as the Z7. And this one is a really long self time, I think it's 10 seconds. Maybe I can change it in the menus. There we go, our first set of images. So let's compare them. I can't really tell the difference right now on the back of the screen. So I'm gonna have to wait until I get home and sit in front of the computer.
This comparison between the two systems is really mostly for my own amusement. It's not scientifically executed correctly. It's just a quick comparison in the field. So here are the raw files, and right away we can see the difference in saturation and colors, even though I set both cameras white balance to cloudy. The Z7 shot is pretty much tack sharp across the frame. The D90 seems fine, but when we take a closer look it falls apart, especially in the lower left corner. Here are the edited photos. I tried to match the shots as close as possible, and I had to do a lot more editing of the D90 shot to make it look natural. The file from the Z7 matched what I saw in the field without much editing at all. Here is the D90 shot in full screen. That lower left corner really looks awful, but other than that it actually looks okay. Here's the Z7's shot, and yes, it's a much more pleasant photo to look at least to my eyes. Corners are sharp, also the color seems more accurate, more dynamic in some way.
Right after I'd taken those two shots, the rain just started pouring down like no tomorrow. And luckily I could seek shelter in this little hut. It's really cozy in here. So as soon as the rain stops, I'm gonna get back out there, because there's still some mist out there and I don't want to miss the opportunity to take misty pictures. It's really nice. I do all the shooting in between rain showers, but now it seems the rain is returning and the wind has picked up, so the fog is lifting, so all the atmosphere is gone. But I think I managed to get a couple of images, and I took two panoramas. I love panoramas.
Here are the raw files, and again, the colors are more saturated on the D90, especially in the greens. Both shots look okay when it comes to overall sharpness, and that is to be expected when we look at a small-sized comparison. Here are the edited photos. I'm impressed with how well the D90's shot stands up to the Z7's. This is the D90 in full screen. It looks totally fine. Here's the Z7. And again, I do like this shot a lot more than the D90's. The colors are just more natural. The overall image quality is still very similar, but when we zoom into the D90's file, it quickly falls apart due to lower megapixel count and the sharpness of the lens. This is a crop from the lower right corner. The lesson here, I guess, is that if you look at a small image, let's say on a tablet or a smartphone, you might not notice that much difference. But if you look at a large image or zoom in, there is definitely a big difference in quality. I did the exact same procedure with these shots. These are the raw files. Here are the edited files. This is the D90's shot in full screen. And here is the Z7's. Here is a crop from the center.
These conditions aren't really optimal for this type of comparison. You get moist on the front element, and also the mist is kind of taking away some contrast and sharpness. So I think I'm done here right now. I'm going to change my location. These images that I've taken right now, those are kind of mid-range images, but I want to test some macro and some telephoto images as well. So I'm slowly making my way back to my car, but I had to stop here right in the trail because I found a really nice opportunity for macro photography. I found some really nice plants with some raindrops on them. The plant is called klöver in Swedish, but I'm not really sure the English name. I'll put it up on screen for you here. And this is really a macro shot. I might even have to focus stack it. So this is a really nice scene. There we go. And let me quickly change to the D90. The self-time mode again. There we go. And I'm zooming in as close as I can. And with the telephoto lenses we get that compressed look. I really love that. Ah, where's my shot? Ah, there it is.
I took these shots at f16 on both systems, so no focus stacking. The D90's file is much softer than the Z7's. And again I have to blame it on the kit lens. It looks like it's handling diffraction much worse than the Z70-200 lens. Which of course is expected. I was just surprised to see this much difference. This is the D90's shot in full screen. And here is the Z7's.
So I'm at my next location. And driving here I had to stop just at the side of the road because I spotted some deers. And they were no more than maybe 50 or 60 meters away, so I got some really nice photos and video clips of them. So before I show you this last image, let's have a look at that video clips of the deers. So I really like this composition with the birch trees and the really lush colors of the leaves. So it's a really nice composition. And so now I can test the longer end of this lens of the D90. So yeah, let's get this shot as well. 10 seconds. And I really love the sound of this D90 when the mirror flips up. It's a completely different sound than the Z7. Alright, here are the images.
Here are the raw files. These are the edited files. The D90 in full screen. Z7 in full screen. This test tells me that it will be hard to say if it's captured with a 15-year-old system or a new one. But many of us look at pictures on a computer screen and we want to print our photos. That's when you need gear of better quality. So it really comes down to what you are gonna do with your photos. Let's say you capture a shot that you're really happy with and you decide to print it. I'm sure you would be disappointed if the quality of the print didn't live up to your expectations. So is all the money I've spent over the years on photography gear worth it? Well, I like to think so. I'm very glad you tuned in to my channel this week, and I hope you found this video somewhat interesting. So thank you all for watching, and I see you in the next video. Take care, bye bye.